I feel like even though we fall more in the Marvel camp, and we really do, we're not huge DC
Oh,
guys.
absolutely. I'm not. I'm
I,
not a comic books fan as much as I am a Marvel fan.
it's such a shame that they had that big fall from grace, though, because like 2008, they were on top of the world with the Dark Knight. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they should have just stuck to their own thing and not tried to get a piece of that cinematic universe pie. Because I feel like as soon as they started doing that, that's where they fell down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do a Superman trilogy with Zack Snyder and leave it at that. Leave it in its own little box. Do you know what I mean? If you want Batman in there, have Batman in there. Do you know what I mean? But you didn't have to try and do the same thing, and
No,
you definitely didn't need as much
they had good
interference.
films.
Yep, they did.
DC had good films before Marvel, but
They were. No one was talking about Iron Man in 2008, man. Do you know what I mean? It was good, but it wasn't the Dark Knight. Everyone was fucking talking about
those
the
films
Dark
were
Knight,
huge.
man,
They
yeah.
missed their chance to piggyback a universe off the Dark Knight film. That's what they should have done.
The problem is in making a cinematic universe with that, it was very baked in realism. You couldn't have Superman in that universe. Yeah, it was so. What if this guy was real? That was the mission statement, wasn't it? Like the focus on realism was front and center in those movies, and I don't think you could have then had a film in the same universe where Superman fights Brainiac. I just don't think so. Not with the Dark Knight. Do you know what I mean? And certainly not with
Not
Christian
straight
Bale's Batman,
away.
but...
Not straight away. Give yourself. Marvel are about to go like full balls deep into the multiverse, and if you'd have said that they should told me that after I watched Iron Man 1, I'd have been like, the fuck, like. But they've taken like 22 films in between to get to this point where they can do it. So I disagree. I think DC could have done it if they played their cards right. But even off the back of those
films. Do you
films.
know what? I'm gonna eat my words from 30 seconds ago, because the first Iron Man film was kind of baked in a bit of realism as well. Not to the degree of the Dark Knight, but it was certainly baked in a bit of like, what if this actually happened? There was no supernatural elements to it, and you are right. They spent the better part of a decade getting people on board with these concepts and ideas. I mean, we were familiar with it for years, like being comics fans and sort of, absorbing that media as a kid. But now they have got mainstream audiences on board with big concept multiverse and stuff like that, and people are just willing to kind of, go with it. And if DC had sowed their seeds a little bit better, then potentially you might be right, and I might be wrong there, but I just don't see a full cinematic DC universe with Green Lanterns and shit off the back of the Dark Knight. But it's a shame that they fell from grace like that. Debatably fell from grace, I should say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Should we move on?
Let's move on.
1, 2,